Shalom uvracha lekulam. To begin, I want to give kavod to the memory of Rav Kuperman Zatzal. It's 2 years now since Rav Kuperman passed away, and he established Michlalah and this Machal program that has been dedicated in the memory of Linda Zahava Rivka Pinsky by her dear parents who knew Rav Kuperman well, and they had a fine relationship. When Linda Alea Shalom learned here at Machal, Rav Kuperman had given many shurim on Perush Meshech Chachma ala Torah. I don't know if you're still having such shurim. Rav Kuperman's devotion to his students and the way he taught brought the Torah closer and made it more meaningful for all his many students to live a life of Torah and mitzvot. Tov li Toraticha me'alfei zahav v'chesed. In the Sefer of Nehemiah, at the end of Perek Bet, we see the great need, Nehemiah saw the great need of rebuilding the wall around Jerusalem that was destroyed, yet from the first Beit HaMikdash. And the reason that he wanted to build the wall was to protect the Jews living there, that it should be also for the second Beit HaMikdash that they were building then, and for the future generations. In Perek Gimel, there are almost 30 psukim which give us a detailed list of names with an explanation of each section of each piece of the wall that the people rebuilt. Each section of the wall was built by different people, and each name is mentioned. These names remain for all time for us to see in Sefer Nehemiah. The first to start rebuilding was Eliashib HaKohen HaGadol ve'echav HaKohanim. The last pasuk in Perek Gimel, pasuk Lamed Chet, v'nivne et hachoma v'tikasher kol hachoma ad chetzia lev la'am la'asot. V'tikasher, it was joined together. They, the builders, were like a long chain who joined together the parts and sections of the wall to build a protection for the present and the future generations. What we can understand from this is that when we see a school, a hospital, a Bet Knesset that's being built, what do we see? We see plaques on the walls, right, with names of who donated. And this shows a joint effort by having plaques put up of all the donors. This Machal program, in memory of Zahava Rivka, that her dear parents established, may it be blessed to remain for all your futures. This, the foundation and depth of Torah learning, which each of you are getting here in Machal, Yerushalayim, Ir HaKodesh. Now I'll tell you about Linda. I'm grateful for this opportunity to speak about my niece, my first niece, Linda, the firstborn of her dear parents. My oldest brother, Gedalia, may be blessed with good health and strength from HaKadosh Baruch Hu to continue all his chesed. Amen. Our dear Linda Zahava Rivka, Alea Shalom, a special young lady with fine midot. Linda spent her year here at Machal over 30 years ago, at a time when it was not common to spend a year as it is today. There were, I think, only 2 programs at that time in Yerushalayim, and Michlalah was truly the best of them. There were 83 students in the program that year. And then Linda went on to Barnard, because they also accepted her credits from Michlalah. At that time, a year in Israel was much different experience than it is today. Not from the viewpoint of learning, but from the viewpoint of living the year far away from home. At that time, there were no cell phones, there weren't computers, there weren't emails. And when Linda spent her year here, phone calls were very expensive. It cost about $10 for 3 minutes to speak on the phone. I know, I had to go to the main post office on Rehov Yafo. You would give them the $10, you'd go into a booth, you'd talk to America, and then when the 3 minutes were over, the line went dead. You didn't hear anything. That was it. They closed it on you. So it was very, very different than what you're having today. What does it give you? If you don't have the access to your parents back at home to call for any little problem, you have greater independence, and you have to make a lot of decisions on your own. How many times a day or a week do you call back home? I had made Aliyah and got married here in Eretz Yisrael 9 years before Linda studied here. So when at Michlalah, Linda used to visit us often. We had been living in Yerushalayim. She was full of fun. During her year, my sister Hindi and Chaim and their family made Aliyah. And in the summer, my dear parents, her Zayda and Baba, they were also able to make Aliyah. And my brother Yehuda and Becky and their family came on Aliyah. So whenever she came to visit, which she did, Baruch Hashem, we were here for her. Linda was a good-natured child, and that quality remained with her as a young lady. She had a special goodness and a lev tov, something deep within her. That year of her studies here in Yerushalayim at Michlalah, she had many maturing experiences, ones where she had opportunities to show her spirit and character, of working with other friends, studying and showing much thoughtfulness to those around her. In my mind's eye, I see Linda with her smiling face, her laughter with our children. She visited often. When my mother, Alea Shalom, her Baba Savta, had a birthday, Linda wrote a cute poem about how she kept herself so busy, and we shared much laughter. Linda spent Chag Sukkot with us, and she was very careful about Shmirat Mitzvot. When it was Yom Sheni Shel Chag, for us it was Chol HaMoed, for us it was Yom Sheni LaGaluyot. So we had gone up on the elevator to get up to our apartment, but Linda walked up the steps. Linda was very attached and devoted to Eretz Yisrael. She walked from Michlalah here to the Kotel on Chag Shvuot to feel that she was closer and part of Yerushalayim, Ir HaKodesh. And then I know, because afterwards she had a very long walk to get back to us. I mentioned Linda's fine midos. Linda was a wonderful sister. She showed much love and devotion to her brother and to her sister Barbara, who was 2.5 years younger than her and who had gotten married. And I felt the true simcha of her that she had for her younger sister. And Barbara, Baruch Hashem, has been blessed. Towards the end of the year at Machal, Linda called home and told her parents she was interested in staying in the summer program where they had a special course on computers. They agreed, and that was the start of her direction to the field of computers. And afterwards, that's what she majored in Barnard, and she worked at AT&T when she graduated. The field of computers is not what it is today. This was before the PC, before Microsoft Windows, and you could ask your parents or your grandparents to tell you stories about that, how they used to use a computer then. So she got into the computer world on the ground floor, and she loved it. During that summer of the computer course, she became friendly with other Israelis that were taking the course. And like this, they invited her to other parts of Eretz Yisrael. And she felt more of a love for our Eretz. Michlalah had a double effect on Linda. Besides her limudei kodesh, which she excelled at, Baruch Hashem, she also got the start to her limudei chol, Torah im derech Eretz. בפרקי אבות, פרק א', משנה ו', יהושע בן פרחיה וניתאי הארבלי קיבלו מהם. יהושע בן פרחיה אומר, עשה לך רב וקנה לך חבר, והבא דן את כל האדם לכף זכות. This is how I always feel about our Linda. She was happy with people, and people were happy with her. I don't remember her sitting and talking about things that didn't please her. She had an eye that saw good, and she had special kibud av v'em. One of the hardest things for parents who have lost a child is the feeling that their loved one is at that age every year, afterwards remaining again and again at that age. Friends of hers who still keep in touch with the family, they call, they visit, they have, Baruch Hashem, been blessed to continue to marry, to have children, to educate them, to bring them up, and Baruch Hashem, now they're bringing them under the chuppah. Linda Aleh Shalom battled with leukemia and had been doing well. The family planned to come with her to Eretz Yisrael for the celebration of our first son's bar mitzvah. She had gotten fever and had to be hospitalized. Linda was a brave young lady. We're not able to understand the ways of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, but we have much emunah. If I were to think what Linda would have liked to bless all of you wonderful students at the Machal each year, I feel she would say to you to have strength to enjoy and accomplish and grow with the love of Torah and Eretz Yisrael. Linda should be a Melitzat Yosher. There should be no more sickness, and Mashiach should come b'karov b'mhera b'yameinu. Amen.